Hi, I'm back doing an energy reading for Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. What is it that Gemini placements need to focus on currently? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter, Gemini. Gemini currently is, I think, retrograde in Uranus. One more time, Gemini. My readings are intuitive. I read the energies of masculine and feminine, and my readings are not gender nor sexuality specific. I read the energies of masculine and feminine. So currently, Gemini, you are in Uranus, which is Uranus about transformation. Let me just double check, because I'm not an astrologer, but I be learning stuff. Oh, revolution. So we shaking shit up. Transformation is Pluto. That's right. Okay. All right. So we have revolution here. So Uranus is ruled by Aquarius in house 11, right? So we have revolution here. The Gemini, we got death here. I'm hearing death card, but this ain't a tarot deck. I'm learning that endings are merely beginnings. Well, essentially, that's what the tarot deck meaning is too, right? But I feel like you've been focusing on ego death. Ego death as it relates to your solar plexus, your root chakra, and you're slowly moving into your sacral chakra. And that's not really in order, right? Root is 1, sacral is 2, solar is 3, right? But healing is not linear. So I feel like you've been learning new ways of being when it comes to ego, persona, willpower, self-esteem. But you're uprooting things that were in your blood. Clarify this planetary wise for Gemini placements as it relates to what they need to focus on. One, a two. So we got 12th house. That is ruled by Pisces, which I'm getting illusions. And then we got 3rd house. 3rd house is ruled by who? No, not Aries. You, Gemini. Perception, right? Mercury. And then we have 12th house, surrender, with Pisces. Well, that's in alignment, right? And when I say with Pisces, that's the ruler. Gemini, you're the ruler of the 3rd house, perception. Yeah, so we got speech, thought, social media, excursions, dating, siblings, research, street life, circulation, discussion, surroundings, and sociability. This is you like taking stock of who you presented yourself to be, right? Your perception, other people's perception of you. Clarify this in the physical. Some of y'all are adding a little astrology to that to clarify this in the physical, because with you knowing more about your rising sign and how you are perceived versus how you perceive yourself, like, you know, you're learning more. Things are getting more ingrained, resonating more with you, and then you're breaking down some ways you presented yourself that you are not so proud of. In the past, right? Before this ego death. Because I know, like, before I started doing my healing, right? When I first dealt with my betrayal, like, it was like basically a 10 of swords, right? I was in a relationship with the person, so they did the 10 of swords, right? But everything else around me, there was so many like tower moments, not just with them, but in family and in career, things of that nature, right? So everything around me I felt like was on fire, including me. And so the way I was showing up, like, you know, work, doctor, just living my life, right? I reflected on it and realized, like, okay, I was a bitch, I was evil, I was bitter, I was this. So I noticed when I started healing more and brought in like the happiness, right? For myself, the love of self, I noticed the change. Like I remember when they responded to me this way, because it's like they acting shocked that I'm nice. I'm always nice, but it's like, no, you weren't. You weren't always nice. You know, there was a time where you wasn't nice, but I could see if it was just unkind, but it was just like, no, I was mean. I was snappish, like, you know, to the point where people like kind of, I feel like I put people on guard, and some people felt like they needed to be on eggshells around me. So that like, I just feel like this ego death and this perception that you're going through in your own house ruler has caused you to reflect, to rest, to meditate, to go within, right? But you're restructuring your foundation. This 4 equating stability, this 3 is the seedling. You're restructuring your foundation into who you are. Bringing more balance in for yourself, right? Now, your motivation for this ego death that you're choosing to withstand, to initiate, to tear down old ways of being and seeing so you can step into the new. Your motivation for it may be different from mine. Like I said, my world was on fire, so it's like I got to do something. My intention was not to have an ego death, but my intention was just to not be in a world that feels like it is burning down. And you know, fire represents transformation and alchemization, so something else could be built anew, but it's just like, I don't want that soil. So your motivation could be different from mine, right? I don't even want the soil, I don't want the place, I don't want none of this no more. Let it burn down and let me build some new shit, right? But anyway, it is happening fast with this Pisces, like that, because I feel like with this Pisces, illusions are being torn down too quickly. This Pisces ruling the 12th house of surrender, right? But I feel like sometimes it could denote illusions with the mystery. And Pisces gives me masculine and feminine energy with the 2 fishes, right? Going in opposite directions. But at some point they meet, maybe not on the same side, like harmonizing. But I feel like if you get both of them together, the masculine and the feminine, there is some harmony and balance. But we have subconscious mind, compassion, dreams, karma, forgiveness, baggage, trance states, the unseen, healing, spiritual development, guilt, prayer, Akashic records. Gone deeply within to figure out, what the hell was I thinking? What was my antennas? What was I doing? If you haven't, you need to, Gemini. Because whether you do it intentionally or not, I feel like this is the time that's supporting this current energy that we're in, or the fact that you are currently in retrograde in Uranus with this revolution. I mean, I feel like it's a revolution of self. You could have Aquarius in your chart too, or Pisces. King of Pentacles. This is where you want to get to, this leadership, this wealth. A lot of it is about leadership, right? Whether it's like CEO, husband, wife, COO, owner, operator. It's to do with leadership, whether it's to be matriarch or patriarch or whatever. But it's just like, you got to have leadership over yourself and yours. You can't call the shots if you don't even, like, it's giving you working hard for others, but you ain't worked hard for yourself. So you're just like, nah, I'm not even doing it no more. You know, and how do I not do it anymore? Because like I said, with this root chakra changes, right, you're uprooting the foundation, ways of being, training, programming, and conditioning to cause you to operate in the prior state, to cause all the illusions and perceptions that you had that are no longer serving you. All right, with this Knight of Pentacles, this is a slow process. Hard work, productivity, routine, conservation, efficiency, responsibility. But you are determined and you're doing it, right? You're doing it. I don't know what stage you at, but this is your focus. And I feel like this will be a lifetime focus on you, and you're going to learn new ways of being and existing in it. But it's given alignment, right? In order for you to get to the next phase of life, you have to tear down old structures. And that's whether it's physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, financially. Bottom of the deck, we have familiarity. I'm hearing popularity breeds contempt. You're using it to your advantage. So you could be in the public, the media somehow. Secrets and illusions, seeing behind them. Planning stages. Empress. Alright, that's what I have for you, though. If you would like to request a personal reading, all the information for that will be listed below this video, Gemini. Thank you. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment.